Excuse me, you're looking like a queen. I wanna take you places where you never go. Allow me, can I call you my baby boo? Yeah, even in my dreams, I know go let you go. You need me, I want to carry my people, I can see your family, cause I wanna take you home. The girl on fire, my desire, eh. She get the power to support me side by side. My baby fire, eh. My desire, eh. And she get the power to support me side by side. Anytime you talk about tell me how you my girl, we go stay away from me, no go enter for a matter, we go solve and me and you. Every time you dance, I go for a day. Me and you my girl, we go stay away from me, no go enter for a matter, we go solve and me and you. Excuse me, you looking like a queen. I wanna take you places where you never go. Allow me. Can I call you my baby boo? Girl, even in my dreams, I don't go let you go. Then meet me. Can I call you my people? I can see your family. Cause I wanna take you home. Don't want to get my baby. Tu sais la me bébé. C'est toi que j'ai choisi. Oh. C'est toi que j'ai choisi. Entre les filles, il y a 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 les filles. Il y a les jolies filles. Les filles avec les formes, mais c'est toi que moi j'ai choisi. Bébé, c'est pour la vie. I'm in love with you. I want to marry you. I just can't believe it. Baby girl, you, I'm in love with you. Yes, I can't believe it. So I'm marry you. All right. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you for joining us. Thank you for joining us. I appreciate you for joining us today. I came ready. It's going to be a great show today. Please share the video so others can join us because we're going to be talking about finding our financial breakthrough. All right. So maybe you are in a position where you keep doing everything that you can. You have been turning up, breaking every corner. You've been talking to everybody that you know. You have been doing everything that they've been telling you, but you cannot catch a break. Or you take one step forward and then you seem to have three setbacks. Maybe that's you. But today, we are going to be talking about how you can break those barriers so that you can finally get your financial breakthrough. Why? Because if you do not get your financial breakthrough, you are not going to be able to build wealth so that you can be able to live the life that you want, right? So please share the video so that others can join us and so we can continue to build wealth and you can take your finances to the next level. Welcome. This is Beyond Financial Reset. At Beyond Financial Reset, our goal is to provide you with financial tools and tips that you need to be able to save money, to eliminate debt and build wealth so that you can live your best life, so that you can live the lifestyle that you deserve, the lifestyle that you want, whatever that lifestyle is. We release videos every week on our platforms on Facebook and YouTube. So if you're not already subscribed to our platform or our page, please be sure to subscribe on our pages or on YouTube and hit the notification bell and make sure that you make us our favorites or your favorites so that you can get notification when we release those videos, because we do share, you know, easy practical tools that you can use, and we do so daily on our Facebook page, and we release videos every week. All right. Hi, I am Sylvie. I am a certified nurse practitioner, and I am also a certified financial educator. I love talking about money. Why? Because money is important. I believe that if you make money but you do not know how to manage your money, how much money you make is of little importance. So that is why I love talking about money. I love educating people about money because I want them to be able to know how to manage their money. So if you are joining us, please let me know in the comments where you are joining me from today so that we can be able to interact with each other. And please say hi, hello. So let me know where you are joining me from. All right. So thank you again for joining me. In this video, we're going to be talking about how to find your financial breakthrough. Why? Because I want you to be able to take your finances to the next level so that you can be able to build wealth, so that you can live the life that you want. And why is it important for you to be able to take your finances to the next level? When we feel stuck, whether it is anything we're doing in our career, in our finances, we lose the motivation to continue doing that project. So when you are putting your kids' toys together, for example, right, and you are feeling stuck, are you going to continue doing that? Probably not, right? So that is the same with our finances. When we feel stuck, we need somebody to help us feel unstuck, or we need something to help us feel unstuck. Because if we do not uh, have that thing, something that feel unstuck, the joy or the motivation that led us to start that project, we are going to lose it, right? So that is where a financial breakthrough comes in. I remember when we were owed $325,000 in initially when we just started our financial journey, and it felt like we were drowning in a debt. We felt like we had done everything that we could to just get through, but we couldn't break through. And we were knocking our heads and just trying to figure out what we were doing wrong. So initially, when we started a debt free journey, we paid off $700 in a credit card. That was where a financial breakthrough came in. It doesn't seem like a lot, but that paying of $700 gave us the motivation to start again. And eventually, we paid off that debt, the $325,000. So, knowing or getting that financial breakthrough is or might be the motivation that you need to get that financial freedom, to get to that financial peace, to get that financial independence. So that is why I am saying, or I think I'm telling you, it is important to get unstuck, because when you are stuck, you feel paralyzed and you do not take action. All right. So in this video or in this live video, we're going to be talking about the steps that you can take to regain that motivation, to break through those barriers so that you can continue to fulfill your financial goals. You can continue to take action so that you can achieve your financial independence. If you are just joining us, please let me know where you're joining me from. Thank you, Mimi, for joining us. I do appreciate you. Please share the video so others can join us. We are talking about how to break barriers so that we can achieve, we can take our finances to the next level. What can we do to take our finances to the next level? So the very first thing I would encourage you to do is to talk about your goals. Yes, Talk about your goals. What are your financial goals? What this does for you is it amplifies your dreams, it amplifies your goals, and it minimizes your challenges, right? So imagine that you are thinking about buying a house and you are scared about what the house is going to bring, but you do not verbalize buying a house, and you have those challenges in your head. Okay, I do not have the money to buy a house. I do not have the money for down payment to buy a house. And so that fear inside of you is now bigger than your dream, right? So you are not going to take action because the fear inside your head is consuming you. Now, on the other hand, if you verbalize your dream, it becomes bigger. You're living in your dream. You verbalize it. I want to buy a house. Now, that dream in effect starts becoming reality to you. Okay? So now it becomes bigger than that fear. I'm going to tell you a story. When we decided to pay off one of our student loans, it was $80,000, and we said we wanted to pay it off in 6 months. The first time we said it, I'm gonna be honest with you, it was so scary. And I share these stories with you because I want you to know that these are things that we did. So I bring to you stories that hopefully you can relate to, right? So you can see that we did it and you can do it too. So the first time we said it out loud, we're gonna pay off 80,000 in 6 months. I tell you, it sounded so scary. But then the more we said it, then it became possible. And then we sat down and we made a plan. But then here is the interesting thing. We, by saying it, we manifested money from places that we did not know existed. We started seeing money in places. Money started showing up in places that we did not know. So we eventually realized our goal faster than we even anticipated, right? So by speaking about your goals, by talking about your goals, you're going to be able to see money show up for you in places that you do not even know are that you're not even aware of, right? And there is power in manifestation, I tell you. So please talk about your goals. And yes, there are people that you might be afraid to talk about your goals to the wrong people, and we're going to talk about that in a little bit. But talking about your goals is important because, again, it helps you achieve them faster, and it also keeps you focused on your goals, because when you talk about your goals, it keeps it forefront in your mind, versus when you're not talking about it, it's not existing. All right. So the very first thing, and somebody should please type it in the comment, is talk about your dreams, talk about your goals, because they become a reality. All right. So I'm going to ask you a question here is, are you comfortable talking about your goals? How many people are comfortable talking about your goals? So let me know in the comments. Okay. So while you're doing that, I want to talk about the second point is, let's pray about what it is you want to achieve. Yes, I know some of you might not be spiritual, religious or spiritual people, but it is important to pray about your goals. And I share my experiences with you again, because sometimes when we think, the way we think we're going to achieve our goals, and not the way that we eventually achieve them, because God has a different plan for you, I tell you. And we get so caught up in, okay, this is the way I want to achieve my goal, this is the way I want to buy my house, this is the way I want to buy my car, that we do not even listen for our matching orders. We do not listen for God's guidance. All right. And again, I'm going to share with you a story. When we initially started struggling financially, we moved out of Colorado to a little town. And then we somewhat got our finances together, right? But then we were like, oh, this town is too little for us. We're going to move back to big old Colorado. All right. But I tell you, God was waiting for us, okay? Because he hit us with one setback. Well, I don't know if it was him or he just he was just sitting there waiting for us, but there was a setback after another. For 2 years, we felt like we could not break, child. It was just a financial emergency after another, after for 2 good years. When we left Colorado, we did not even stop at the town we thought was little. He threw us all the way to another town that was way smaller than that town we thought was little. Okay. It was a town of 15,000 people. But guess what? That was where we found our financial breakthrough, in that little town of 15,000 people. So, yes, God is going to make you so uncomfortable and move you to where He needs you so He can deliver your financial breakthrough. So, we need to pray and listen for those others. We need to pray and listen for what God is telling you. Sometimes when He is making you uncomfortable, He is trying to remove you from that situation. So you need to be able to listen for what He is telling you. So again, my second thing is, please pray about everything, all right? And just listen for what God is telling you. So next, I want to encourage you to, if you were just joining us, we're talking about how to get your financial breakthrough. So we have shared the very first tip, which is to talk about your dreams to the right people. The second tip is to pray about it, and then the third tip I'm going to share is you need to really, really, really want it. Okay. You need to want what it is you're talking about. You need to want what it is you're praying about. Why? Because there's sacrifices that you're going to need to make. Temptations are going to come, and you're going to you should be ready to say no to certain things so that you can say yes to your dreams and your goals. And when those temptations come, say for example, I'm going to use the example again for you trying to save a down payment for a house. Your friend might come and say, let's go for a shopping spree, let's go buy some shoes and some and some dresses. You should be ready to say, no, I can't at this time because I'm saving to buy a house, right? That is when you practice delayed gratification. Why? Because I'm not buying that shoe right now, but because I want to get something else. So that when I get that house, I will buy that shoe, right? So it is very important that when you're trying to achieve your dreams, you should be able to practice delayed gratification. Delayed gratification is something that you should practice throughout your financial journey because it really helps you to achieve a lot of your goals. Yes, it is very difficult because we want the quick wins. We want everything right now, but not everything should be right now. We should be able to we should be able to time our goals. We should be able to plan things out because it helps us to think rationally. It helps us to make educated financial choices. It helps us to be able to think about whether our investments or our decisions are things that we are going to help us right now. Do we need to buy toys for the kids right now, or can they wait until it's Christmas or after school? Do we need to fix the roof right now, or can we wait? Do we need to take that vacation right now, or can we wait? Do we need to travel right now? So all of those decisions are things that we need to think about when we practice delayed gratification, and they help us to be able to build wealth. All right. And I know as parents, especially, we have that guilt. And if you have experienced it, let me know in the comments, right? I know I experienced it a lot of the time when we were paying off our debt, right? Where I felt guilty for refusing the kids. It felt like, okay, I had to say no to them. I had to say no. I couldn't get this toy for you. I couldn't get you the shoes or this clothes because we're trying to get our finances together. So if you're a mom and you've experienced this, let me know. So you feel that guilt. But what worked for us is we had to sit them down and explain to them, hey, this is what we're doing, and get them involved. So what we printed out, like the chart of the house when we're paying off the house, and had them color it in, so they felt excited about that. And we'll give them like $20. They'll go to the dollar store and have like a shopping spree. Yes, the dollar store, and it was exciting for them. So that led us to know that it's not what we give them, it's just that whole experience of shopping that they wanted, right? So the dollar store it was right, so it's their favorite store to date. So yes, sometimes we had to cut corners and not give them what they wanted, and we gifted regifted. I'm going to tell you this, right? We regifted their iPads, like we'll clean it sometimes and put it back in the case and regift it to these kids. It's a true story. But it's just to be able to give them that excitement of opening up the gift again, right? And now we're able to buy them the iPad, but you do what you have to do to get by, and just delay that whole process of going out there and buying a gift if you don't have to. Okay. So, and the fourth thing is, you want to make a plan. So now you've talked about it, you've prayed about it, and you've decided, okay, this is what I want. I want to buy a house. What do? You make a plan. You have to have a plan. You're not just going to say, okay, God, I prayed about it. I want a house. And then you go to church every day and then you hope that you have a house. No, sis, no, bro, you're not going to have a house. You need to have a plan and you need to take action. What are you going to do to have that house? So, make a plan, write it down, and start taking action. And when you make a plan, your plan needs to be smart. Like when you write your goals, they need to be smart. So when I say smart, it needs to be specific, it needs to be measurable, it needs to be attainable, it needs to be relevant and timed. So by specific, I mean, what exactly do you want to accomplish? Why do you want to accomplish it? So we take the house. So do you want to buy a house? Okay, great. Why do you want to buy a house? Okay, so I can have a house for my kids. Good. It has to be measurable. So how much do you want to buy a house for? $400,000, $200,000. Okay. How are you going to know that you have the money to buy out? Okay, when I have $20,000 down payment in my account, or 100,000 down payment. All right, good. So that's how you write your goals, okay, people? So somebody writes it in the comments for me. Specific, measurable, yeah, as I'm going down. The next one is, it needs to be attainable, something that you can do, okay? So what do you need to do to get the $100,000 in your account? So if you are making, say, 50,000, it doesn't make sense to say, okay, I need to have 100,000 in 3 months. That is not attainable, right? So you need to decide on something that you can actually do, because what happens is, if you choose a goal that is not attainable, then of course you're going to be defeated before you even start. So make sure that you are choosing a goal that you can actually achieve. So don't go look at $1 million house and say, okay, I want $1 million house, when you know that you're not going to be able to pay the mortgage, for example. So choose a house that you can actually pay for, right? So, okay, I'm going to choose a house. I've chosen a $400,000 house. I can come up with $100,000 mortgage in 2 years or in 1 year. All right, great. So if I can come up with the $100,000 in, a year, so how much am I going to need to come up in a month? If I decide that I'm going to come up with, $10,000 in a month. All right. So then I'm going to just put that down. That's how much I'm going to come up in a month, right? So what do I need to do? do I need to pick up an extra shift? All right, so you write down by, next month I'll start looking for a job to pick up an extra shift. Okay, so those are the things that you're going to put down. Now, you need to be relevant. What am I going to do to achieve this goal? What can I achieve this goal? Again, we touched about that a little bit. So make sure that it is something that it's important to you. Don't say I want. I don't add pigeon for them. Don't go say in English. Just say go worry people. Um, don't say I want to buy a house because your friend bought a house, right? So it should be something that is important to you. Buy a house because your family needs a house. Because if that goal is not something that you want to achieve, you're not going to be motivated to do it, right? So look for a goal that you want to achieve. Look for something that you're motivated to do. It's like going to get a job that you don't like. The tendency that you will be sad at that job is very likely, right? So your goals should be something that you want to achieve. It's like, again, starting a business that you are not passionate about. Look for something that you are passionate about, that you want to do. So your goals should always have something that is passionate to you, that you are motivated by, something that will motivate you, something that you can look at and say, okay, this is why I am waking up in the morning to go and hustle for. This is why I am waking up in the morning and saving extra money for. All right. So it ties in with, you need to really want this. If you don't want it, you're not going to do it. Do it. Okay. So if that makes sense, please pump some hearts so I know that you are understanding what I am saying. And somebody write it in the comments. Your goals should be specific, measurable, attainable, relevant. Okay. And the last one, it should be time. When do you want to achieve it by? So don't say, I want to buy a house. You're not going to buy a house. Or don't say, I want to start a business. You're not going to start a business. Say, I want to start a business by December of 2020 and I want to start it by 12 noon. All right. So when December of 2022 is coming, and then you're looking at your watch like, oh my God, I said I was going to do this. I told John that I was going to do this. See how it keeps you in check? Because you have timed it, because you have given yourself all these things, you are going to keep yourself in check, right? But if you just say it in your brain, I want to start a business. Well, nobody knows you want to start a business. You didn't even give yourself a timeline. You're not worried about it. So the probability that it's going to happen is zero. So not going to happen. So yeah. So those are the things that you need to do to, again, we make sure that you get your financial breakthrough. All right. So quick question for you. How many people have a financial plan for this year? Did you write like goals that you want to achieve for this year? If you do, let me know in the comments if you have, plans that you want to achieve for this year. All right. So if you were just joining us, thank you, Mimi, for joining us. Thank you, Mimi. Yes, very true. You said, Mimi said, very true. God's ways are not our ways. Yeah, that's true. God's ways are not our ways. We have to listen for his guidance. Because again, there's that inner, I always say we have a sit sense in our stomach. We always have to listen to it, and please do not ignore it, because that might be God talking to you. Okay. So when you hear it, you gotta listen for it, especially women, right? That are intuition. You gotta listen to it. How many times have you said, oh my God, I wish I had listened to my God was telling me something, right? So we listen to it and just pray about it and make sure that we're making the right decisions. All right. Okay. The next thing is, we want to set boundaries, because the people that we bring into our space are going to determine the material that we consume. A lot of us have a hard time setting boundaries, whether financial, just whether personal, whether in our at work. We just have a hard time setting boundaries overall, right? So let me know, Are you comfortable saying no? Because I had a hard time saying no. I had to learn how to say no. It was a process for me. So if you have an easy time saying no, I would like to know, and just tell us in the comments what tips you use to say no, right? Because a lot of us, again, I talk to a lot of people, and it's a challenge to say no. But saying no and setting your boundaries is very important in your financial journey. And why do I say so? Again, like I said, the people you have in your space, the people that you have around you, determine the material that you consume. So look around you and just ask yourself, do the people around you motivate you to achieve your goals? Do they cheer you on? Do they think that the dreams that you have are too big? Do they try to talk you out of achieving your goals? Or do they ask you, oh, are you going to achieve those goals? How can I help you achieve those goals? Because those are the people that you want around you, people that are going to motivate you to achieve your goals, not people that are going to talk you out of your dreams, not people that are going to think that, your dreams are too big for you to achieve, right? And if you have positive people around you, what is going to happen? You're going to think positive thoughts. If you have people that are negative, and always talking negative things, right? What is going to happen? You're going to think negative thoughts, right? So it's all starts with our mindset. So what we feed uh, our mind is very important, right? So we want to keep our mind in a positive space. So again, clean your environment by setting your boundaries. You want to set your boundaries, and your boundaries also applies to you as well, because we talked about delayed gratification. So saying no to yourself is setting boundaries with yourself, right? So when you say no to yourself, that's you setting boundaries with yourself. Like, no, I'm not going to do that. Setting boundaries with your spouse, saying, no, we're not going to do that today, because we're trying to buy the house. Setting boundaries with your kids. No, we're not going to do that today because we're trying to, buy the house. We're trying to take our finances to the next level. Setting boundaries with your friends. No, we're not going to go shopping today because we're trying to buy the house. So just being able to set your boundaries all around is very important, right? Because again, people are not going to change. We can't expect them to. We should be looking at ourselves. Are we the ones allowing them to treat us the way they treat us because we haven't set our boundaries? So that should be the question that we should be asking ourselves, right? So have you set your boundaries, and people are not and have you enforced your boundaries, or are people treating you the way they're treating you regardless of the boundaries you have put in place? Because a lot of the time we look at people and like, okay, oh, that person is very selfish, or that person, just because we have not set boundaries. You are over there just splurging and giving money, but that person is just taking advantage because you do not have boundaries with your finances, right? So we have to stop looking at people to change again, and looking at ourselves and looking at the boundaries that we have to set for ourselves, because you cannot control somebody's finances. If that person has chosen not to give money, and you decided to go out there and splurge your money, you cannot say, oh, that person is selfish. No, sis, you decided to go out there and spend money. You could have decided not to give the money as well. That's on you, right? So if we change again our mindset, set our boundaries, then maybe we can start seeing things differently. All right. So that's that about boundaries. And then the last one is find your success tribe. I cannot stress this enough. When you are thinking about breaking financial barriers, you should have your success tribe. Success tribe, it's two groups of people. You have people, again, that are around you, the people that are going to support you, that are just your accountability partner. Those are going to be like your family, if you're married, your spouse, because they're going to check in on you, right? And I encourage you, if you are like on a financial journey, and your spouse, you should not spend $300, right? Without checking in with each other. That's the amount I would recommend. So something like that, just checking with each other, checking with your accountability partner. Am I making the right decision financially, right? So if you put that amount in your head and say, okay, that's the amount I'm not going to spend without checking in with my accountability partner. So going back to the other point about having people around you who support you, so have that accountability partner. Ding, ding, ding. Yeah, I saw this item for 350. Should I be getting it? And then they'll be like, okay, do you really need it? And then they talk to you through that. All right. So $300 is something you should be thinking about before getting talk to your accountability partner, sleep on it 24 hours before you get it. Now, the second group of people that you should have around you are professionals, trusted professionals. And these are your accountants, these are investment professionals, these are your financial coaches. These are people that are going to help you, like mentors. These are people that are going to help you with your finances, that are educated, they have professional knowledge, right? About finances. They're going to help you take your finances to the next level. To encourage you, there are certain things that you have to spend money on to be able to take your finances to the next level. It's not at every stage that you're going to spend money on, but certain times we have to get to the mindset where it's like you have to spend money to get money. Because if we do not spend money to get money, then we are not going to move our finances to the next level. And you don't want to be penny wise and pound foolish, right? So you sit there and you, for example, you make a mistake with your taxes, and then you get a tax bill that's greater than the money we're trying to save, right? So get people like your accountants to look over your taxes. Get people like trusted investment professionals to make sure that you're making the right investment decisions. Don't be looking at bring one person to get two persons. No, I'm not talking about those investment professionals, please. Not those ones. And then you want to look at, like financial coaches that are going to help you with just guiding you with your money decisions, and then mentors to help you if career, right? So that you can bring more money into your household, because your income is where there's wealth building to. The more money you have, the more money you can be able to invest and build wealth. All right. So these are the tips that you can use to be able to break through any financial challenges, to get unstuck so that you can have your financial breakthrough. I am going to run through these tips again. And if they have not written it down, you can quick write it down. The very first thing is to talk about it. Make sure you're talking about it to the right person. Second, you want to pray about it. Pray about it every step of the way. The third thing is to make sure you really, really, really want it. Make sure it's something that is personal to you, and it's not something that somebody has told you, you know what, go out there and get it, or you're just trying to compete with somebody. No, it's something that has to be personal to you. And then the fourth thing is, please make a plan, write it down, and start. Don't make a plan, write it down, and leave it on the desk. No, make a plan, write it down, and start. Because when you start, even if you fail, guess what? You're better than somebody who has never started. You know why? Because you have built muscle memory, because now you know what not to do. Somebody who has never started doesn't know what to do, what not to do rather, right? So even if you fail, you are much better. So start, fail, keep failing. So you keep knowing what not to do. All right. So make a plan, write it down, and start. Every step counts. Okay. And then set boundaries. Make sure you're setting your boundaries. And lastly, find your success tribe. So these are the tips that I encourage you to use to make sure that you are breaking your financial barriers and getting your financial breakthrough. I hope that I am getting all the comments coming through. And let me know if you have any questions. And if you were watching this later in on replay, thank you for joining us. I appreciate you. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, please make sure you do so on Facebook, on YouTube. We release videos every week, and we also share daily tips and tools to help you to live your best life and to eliminate debt, save money, and build wealth. All right. So financial freedom, financial independence is very important because it allows you to have options to be able to spend time with those you love, to be able to make choices, to be able to do whatever it is you want to do, whether to work, when to work. So it is dependent on what you do today. So all the decisions that you do today will determine whether or not your future is better than today. So your past might not be great, but if you make better financial choices today, your future is going to be better. So thank you so much for watching. I do not see any questions. And that is all I have for you. So again, please share the video, pump some hearts for me. And thank you and have a great, great day. I love you so much for watching.